and I'm here for your Monday live card class. Hopefully, hopefully. My computer is just telling me it's reconnecting. Hopefully we are connecting. Okay, wow, that was a great little technical glitch here. So hopefully this is live. And it is Monday at 8 o'clock. It's a little after 8. I'm like 2 minutes late tonight. We have an amazing card class. And I teased a little bit about it over the weekend. I did my June in-person class on Saturday, and I give my stampers the option to come either in the morning or in the afternoon. The class is the same regardless of their choice, and that really helps them to free up their schedule. It breaks up the stampers so I have more time to visit and enjoy some company. And it really is working out great. I have started doing this since January and I absolutely love it. I used to make everyone just come in the afternoon. That's when I had my card class. But now we are doing this so that they have a choice. And it really, I cannot tell you how many of them say to me, this is great because they either have something going on in the morning and they come in the afternoon, or they have something going on in the afternoon, so they come in the morning. So they get the best of both worlds. All right, so I am going to chit chat here just for a second. So if you're watching this on YouTube, hi over there as well. I'm just waiting to see if anybody is going to watch this tonight and make sure that we are actually live because I did have a little bit of a technical glitch there. So hopefully we're good. Maybe I'll try to see if I can find myself on my phone too. All right, so as soon as someone jumps on, looks like I have a couple of viewers. If you could just let me know if you can see and hear me, that would be so fantastic. I would so much appreciate that. I know that there's a little bit of a time delay from what I say to when you react to things with the Facebook. And that's okay too. So I'm just checking my phone. Oh, hi, Barbara. Thanks for saying hello. Okay, cool. I'm going to shut down my phone now because now I'm going to have like the echo. Hi, Lynn. Oh, from Southern New Jersey. So good to see you. So, ladies, I'm really excited to share this class with you tonight. We are using the Impressions Abloom Bundle. Now, this is an online exclusive. And hi, Patty. Patty was at my class. So, Patty, I have some good stuff to share that wasn't in class. Oh, I forgot I was going to share my little tote too. I've got to look at my bucket. Hi, Flo. Thank you for letting me know you can see and hear me. That is so sweet of you. So I'm scrolling tonight really badly. So I've been running around a little bit. I thought I'd change back into my work clothes, but I did not. I'm still in farm chick clothes because I'm doing some chores in between. The mister is traveling this week, so I am doing all of the things here at our homestead. So right before I came live, I had to go back out to the barn and tuck everybody in for the night because by the time I get done with the live, I don't want to go outside in the dark. I'm kind of scared to go outside in the dark. Anyway, so that's a little bit about me in case you didn't know. We have things like that going on here as well, besides the stamping stuff, right? Hi, Julie. It's great to see you on here. So I will be sharing some ideas on the sampler. I'm going to give everyone a sneak peek because like maybe you're like, what are you talking about? So let me just, I'm going to flip my camera over so I can see what you're seeing because this is a sneak peek of the sampler. I hope you liked it. We're going to be talking about this quite in depth. I know I showed you like a really quick snippet of it. It's really pretty, but I'm also going to share tonight how you can take those elements from the sampler in case you don't want wall art. It's in an 8x8 frame. Maybe you just want cards out of it. So I'm going to share that with you too. All right, so that was the sneak peek of the sampler. Let me see if I can find, hold please. This is just craziness, right? I said earlier today, as I go through boxes on my floor. Now, a couple of my stampers came up to my craft room on Saturday. They really wanted to see the craft room. And I said, please do not judge me because it's a disaster. And they're like, no, it looks great on screen and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, what you see on screen is like the clean stuff. Everything else is like super messy. Hi, Kathy. Oh, you're so sweet to say everything looks good. All right, so this is the tote. This is the tote that demonstrators were able to earn during an incentive challenge with Stampin' Up, and a strawberry slush tote. And then inside, I mean, and I feel like it's a good sized tote. My friend Tammy and coworker, friend and coworker Tammy, she brought this to the class Saturday. Look at this, it's huge. I think it's huge. Now it is felt, yes. So I would probably put some cardboard on the bottom to help make it a little bit sturdier. There's like some little inserts here, like Velcro, that you can partition off parts of this inside. And she had all kinds of good stuff in her. And there's pockets 3 here in the back, 3 in the front with a little Stampin' Up logo. Of course, right? Anything Stampin' Up is beautiful, but this is Strawberry Slush. Mine just came in. I just opened it for the first time. Like I said, Tammy had hers up and running. So kudos to Tammy. Now, if anybody else is a demonstrator that earned that, it was a sales challenge in April, and I say kudos to you too. I think I had maybe 4 people on my team that earned it, so I'm really excited for them as well. Okay, I have chit-chatted a bit. We got to get to this class because there's a lot going on. All right, let me see if I can find you back on my computer screen again. Okay, hi Michelle, it's so good to see you. Michelle, we really miss you, and I really hope that you're getting better. That's the most important thing, is your health. So please continue to get better so that we can see you at the next one too. Oh, Kathy, Tammy came in the afternoon class. So that's the hard part about morning and afternoon classes, is not everyone gets to see each other. But Tammy did have, I think Tammy had some of your cake. I can't remember now. All right, we're gonna get over to the workspace so we can get going. Please continue to say hi as you jump on. I love to know who's hanging out with me. I'm going to share with you the whole class here. We're going to get going here. Now on the class, Impressions Abloom. I got stories. I got lots of stories tonight. So this is the Stampin' Die set that I was able to get early at the March convention in Raleigh this year. So demonstrators had a choice if they wanted to do a stamping event, like a make and take. Let's call it a make and take. They had the option to get this bundle or the turtle bundle, and I got this one. So I've played with it in Raleigh as well. But this is my first really big deep dive into it in my craft room. Now this is a photopolymer stamp set. So you've got the great stamps. It's 2-step stamping, so there's a lot of 2-step, but you don't have to 2-step if you don't want to. Sentiments are really nice. We've got I appreciate you so very much, or you could use I appreciate you for being there. So you can use those, mix and match those. They are separate stamps. And then we have thanks. So it's a very thankful and grateful stamp set. This is going to be one that you may want to reach for in the fall when you're doing like your Thanksgiving cards, right? Because any of these flowers could be done in any color. And I think these would be lovely in those autumnal colors. I am so excited about this set. I really love it. So this is a really nice set. It's an online exclusive. You will not see it in the catalog. Now there's lots of dies here too. There's outline dies, there's detail dies, there's dies that you have to use mix and match. And you've got 2 ovals, and of course I love ovals. Like, I like layering things. So let's talk about these ovals for just a hot second. So they look like they're the same size, but they're really a little bit different. So there's one that has just a plain surround, and there's one that has these little dotted lines right here. Now the one that does the plain surround is actually going to have a bigger background. This is what it looks like in white. And we're going to get into this one as we do our cards tonight, because this is actually going to cut 2 things for you. It's going to cut a very teeny tiny frame, and it's going to cut the inside of this, which will nest with this oval right here. So we'll talk about that a little bit more, but the 2 ovals, very important. On this magnet sheet, I have the leaves. So we've got a nice detail leaf here. And then we've got these leaves with the little veins in them as well. This leaf will cut out your imagery. And then you can also die cut and you can put these in. You can layer these together. And then you can get a detailed die cut where it'll kind of emboss, if you will, right? You've got a couple of stems here, 2 separate ones. And then over here, you've got some really great flowers. Now, these 3 flowers that you see right here, they're outlining the big stamp, the big flower, the medium, the more daisy looking flower, and then this cute little, cute as a button flower. We're gonna call it cute as a button. And then we've got this is like a detailed, like kind of petals. They could be leaves, they could be petals. This one will die cut separately. It'll make 2. But it's on 1 die, and then this is the larger of those. I've used these together in a couple of my projects today. Then you've got 2 sets of these teeny tiny little white, I don't think I have any of them in my, they're around. I've used them, I tried them out. Now you've got some centers for your flowers, right? So they're going to actually die cut out the images here in the stamp set as well. So you got a bigger one and a smaller one. It's going to be, you know, depending on what size your flower center should be. And then you've got the details right here, and these can be put together. And you can do this all at the same time if you want to grab these and put them together as you die cut them. Now I'm going to caution you very strongly about the error of my ways. So this tiny little die, this is the tiniest die I think I've ever seen in my life. And it's very thin because it doesn't cut anything. It just adds these cute little punched holes into your image. I lost one. I'm pretty sure it's in my die cutting machine. I tried to take my die cutting machine apart, but that didn't work either. So then I bought another set. So actually I have two of these. Now, before you're like, what are you thinking for that tiny little die? Well, first of all, demonstrators get a really good discount and volume rebate. And also when I have my classes, it was very handy to have two sets of the flowers and the ovals and all of the things. So I wasn't too sad about having to get another set, but I am really sad that this little guy right here is gone. So I'm going to caution you, if you use these in your own machine, tape them together on top of your cardstock so that you don't lose. This is such a tiny thing. It's ridiculously small, and I'm also slightly hopeful that it really is somewhere in my craft room, and maybe I'll find it someday. So that is a little bit about Impressions Abloom. Let's talk about the class tonight. It's a little bit different tonight. We're doing, with a $50 order with me this week, you're getting 3 card kits. So we've got 3 card kits. We've got one in Pool Party. We've got one in Fresh Freesia, and I've got to find the other one. I got stuff everywhere because there's so much going on. And then we've got this one right here, which is Crushed Curry. So they're very flowery. Plus you've got you're getting parts and pieces to make up the sampler that I shared at the very beginning. So you're actually getting 3 card kits plus a sampler kit. And that is with your $50 after coupons before tax and shipping. These are all the things. You're going to see me put this together tonight in the class. I'm going to also share with you how you can make cards with the sampler pieces in case you don't want the sampler. You're getting emailed recipes, and you earn Stampin Rewards on your products too. So 10% comes back to you on anything over $20. So this is this week. I hope you guys enjoy this class. I should probably put that down a little bit. I just looked up and said, "Oh my goodness, Julie, you're not even all there." I'm not all here tonight, guys. So just bear with me. All right, Impressions Abloom. Here we go. We're going to just jump right in, and we're going to do our cards first. Project will be last in case you're wondering about that beautiful, gorgeous project. But we're going to start out with this one. So pretty much what you're seeing here in the envelope is what arrives to you. Now your card base will not be scored in half. You'll get a piece of like a half a sheet of cardstock that you get to score in half, because I know you guys are professional card makers out there too, right? Like you're all nodding your heads. Yes. Hi, Janice. Hi, Pat. Oh my gosh, look at my New York friends are here. And hi, Jess. Good to have you on board tonight. All right, so this is our first card. Let me find it and I'll show it to you. This is how beautiful this card is. Actually, this is my favorite card, and I think I meant to do this one second, but we're gonna go with it today. So this oval right here, when I talked earlier about this die cut, gives you a small tiny frame. This is a small tiny frame right here, okay? And then it'll have a piece that comes out as well. In white that we're going to actually use on another card. So when you're working with this card kit, I am also going to need you to grab out. This is so funny. This is what I did with kids in class. My stampers in class. You guys are kids to me. Doesn't matter if I'm younger or older than you. We're all kids, right? This is your other card kit right here with the sunflowers and such in it, right? So you have 2 pieces of cardstock in here, one in Crushed Curry and one in white. You can see that they're exactly the same size. So what you're going to do is you're going to die cut with this Impressions Abloom oval right here. So you'll die cut this and you'll die cut this, and the frame from this one will come out. And is it somewhere? Oh my gosh, I hope it's somewhere, because if not, okay, I set it aside somewhere already. Okay. This is how the class is going to go today. I can just see this already. Actually, I'm not sure what I did with it. So I'm just going to look around here for another minute, and then I'm going to just, oh, here it is. And then I'm just going to start over. But here we go. I actually have these in here. So after you die cut them, you're going to have the white one with the white frame, and you're going to have the Crushed Curry with the Crushed Curry frame. Go ahead and just put all these back in here. All you need for this card is the frame. So you can double duty up some of those parts and pieces, which is really, really nice. Okay, now that we've got a few things back together again, we're going to continue and do this really awesome card class tonight. I'm going to grab in a scrap paper here. We're going to do a little stamping. Now on this card kit, besides the Impressions Abloom, I also took advantage of another stamp set. Now you could use any background stamp set that you want, but I love, and I've used Beautiful Motifs before, I love this one right here. So we have that one to stamp with, and we're going to stamp a background image Let me grab out all of my parts and pieces here. We're going to get set up. We're going to do this. Our ink colors for this card are very pretty. We're going to start with Pretty in Pink. We've got Pool Party and Melon Mambo. So we're doing the tone on tone on our card base. So after you've got it scored in half, you're just going to open up some ink. You can do tone on tone with whatever background stamp you want to do. It's going to be beautiful. We're just going to kind of come right up the side here, and this would be the right side, and overlap a little bit as needed. And then we're just going to kind of scooch a little bit in here at the top. So there it goes, just like that. And if you go over farther, it's okay. You can, you know, because we're going to be covering up with some layers as well. All right, so let's, while we have this out, do I not have your die cut? Oh, no, I do. It's right here. Here it is. You're getting the Stylish Shape banner. Stylish Shapes are one of my absolute favorite die sets. I use them all the time. So we're going to go ahead and do our stamp, the I Appreciate You. I think I've got some Pool Party ink going on here already. So we're just going to try to cover that up a little bit, maybe even. We'll see how it goes. But the I Appreciate You will fit on there really nicely, just like that. And that's in Pool Party. So I'm going to cover this ink up before I go crazier with it. And while we're doing sentiments, let's grab out, let's see here, in my kit. In my kit, there should be a tiny little piece of Pretty in Pink. I mean, look, so cute, right? But this is going to fit your So Very Much on here, and we're going to do that in Melon Mambo. So this is a great way to do the stamping if you're not into the heat embossing, because heat embossing would be really cool right here, right? But if you don't want to heat emboss, you can always grab a darker ink than your cardstock, and you'll be able to see the words. So that's kind of a nice thing to do, besides always stamping with white cardstock, right? So I feel like we gravitate mostly to the white cardstock. Okay, so now that we've got some things going on here, let's do a little bit of assembly, and then we're going to talk about our die cuts as well. So I have a piece of white cardstock here, and a lot, I believe, yes, if I'm correct, all of these Designer Series papers tonight are from the same pack of paper. It's the Floral Impressions paper. It's the most beautiful paper pack in the whole world. It's what we get our sampler from as well. So it's this is like the front of the paper pack is already gorgeous, right? We're getting our sampler from this piece right here, but you can see the color tones. It's all absolutely stunning. I love this paper. So every card from this class is part of that suite. So this is a great segue to talk about suites, because suites are buy one, get one during the month of June. We're halfway through that. So if you're looking for any suites, and that would include the bundle, and then it includes the designer paper, includes the embellishments, all of the things, right? That makes up a suite with just one order code. You can get one, buy one, and then you get another suite for free. Now it's been tricky. I've had a couple of people asking me about, why isn't my suite half price? And normally, you would think a BOGO would be simple, but this one's a little tricky because Stampin' Up! Also threw in there the suite products. So if you're ordering anything else that's in any suite, whether it's designer paper or an embellishment, Stampin' Up's going to use the least expensive suite product item and half price that. So you just have to pay attention to what's in your cart, and then you're good to go. Hopefully I've got some glue on here. I'm just kind of lightly dabbing that along in a few spots, because this is going to come down right on top of here. Now again, this is the frame from the little oval, and it fits along here just right. So it's going to actually cover up the Designer Series paper edge on both sides. Look at how magical that is, right? I'm going to flip this upside down and give it a little bit of a rub from the back, because that way it'll flatten and be beautiful. And look, there it is, just like that. And it wasn't too terrible to glue that down. I know that this can be a tedious thing. Okay, so next we're going to talk a little bit about what else is in your kit here, because we have some things here that you're going to be working on. So you've got a whole bunch of beautiful cardstock. We've got Soft Seafoam, Lemon Lolly, Pool Party, Pretty in Pink. Oh, there's my Pretty in Pink. I looked for that earlier and I couldn't find it. So I happened to have a spare one hanging out next to me, and I'm like, oh, maybe it didn't get into the kit. But there you go. You're only getting one of those. So here's what's left of your kit. Now let's talk about what you're going to die cut. We're going to take these funny little flowers right here, and we're going to die cut these two dies. So these are the kind of the spray looking flower, if you will. And then on the green, we're going to grab the leafy die right here. So we're going to die cut this one. And then on the pool party, now in my class and in my cards will look a little bit different. I want to talk about this just really quickly. So in my class, because there's so many dies and we use the same bundle basically for all 4 projects, I felt that it would be a lot easier for my stampers to just use some punches instead of the little circle dies. Now these punches are smaller centers than the dies. You can see hopefully the size here. This is the 3/8 and this one is the 1/2 inch punch. These are retired Stampin' Up punches. And I told all my stampers on Saturday, if I could go back in time and talk to me, I would say buy 3 of those because those are valuable. They don't make those anymore. All right, so so actually because you're using the the Impressions Abloom Bundle this week, you get to die cut. And if you want to, you can use this little embosser right here for your centers in Pool Party, and you're going to get 2 of them onto this sheet right here. I can't remember if in my cheat code if I did that or not. Now on this one, you're going to actually do some stamping. We're going to stamp the daisy looking 2-step stamping flower, and we're going to do this in Pretty in Pink. Now I had to re-ink my Pretty in Pink. Ooh, that rhymed. All right, so I re-inked Pretty in Pink because it was really light, kind of washed out. Now, some of you may like to do the detailed one first, and some of you might like to do the background one first. I'm not sure which method works the best. I do know that we're going to do stamping off because we're going to get 2 tones of color here. So if you do the detailed one first, we might try it both ways. Let's see how this works. You're going to do a full strength of the detail, and then on the background stamp, which is just the plain daisy, you're going to stamp off. Now here's where you have to look to see where there's 3 petals. In which direction would it go? I think it's about right here. I didn't do too bad. Okay, so now if you go the opposite way and you do the background first, you're going to stamp off, and now you have a full image. I mean, it's really light, but it's on there because we stamped off on purpose, right? Now you're going to take your detail and you're going to go over top. So I guess I can see why some of my stampers thought that this was harder, because it's harder to see through this one to see where it's going to line up. And we're going to go for it. So yeah, I think that they are correct. This one looks a little bit more, not quite lined up. Let's call it an imperfect flower. Are there such things as imperfect flowers? And then this one is where you saw I did the detail first. So it's up to you, however you want to do that, but you are going to stamp off on the background. So you get a lighter background and you get the darker detail, if that makes sense. Hey, Lois, good to see you. Hi, Linda. I see a couple more friends have jumped in. All right, so I already did all the die cutting, right? So we've got our soft seafoam leaf. We've got our Pretty in Pink flowers. So you can see here that after the ink dries a little bit, it does change tone. So sometimes that does happen, and that's normal. Okay, then we've got our 3 little pieces here of this fun little flower, and I die cut the centers. I did not impress them with this tiny little impressing die that I'm afraid to lose now. So but you can, or you can just leave them like that, or you can punch little circles if that's what you got. So now that we have everything we need to finish this, let's get going on our card kit, right? We're going to finish putting this one together. All right, so here's all the pieces. We're going to glue the leaves down first, if I could pick them up. Gluing leaves. Here we go. Now this has a whole bunch of holes in it, by the way. So that means you want to just be really careful not to glue everything, because the glue is going to just goosh up through your holes. And we're going to put this on here, kind of like in this area over here. Now a lot of this gets covered up, and one of my stampers was really smart. She actually cut this apart, and then she used the leaves up and around the floral areas so that you could see it even more. So that was really awesome. And I need some dimensionals, because dimensionals are like the thing. So we're going to start with one of our big flowers here, and I'm going to just pop a dimensional on the back, and we're going to just start building up our little flowers. Maybe I'll try to leave more green showing this time. Let's see if I can manage that. All right, so I put this one down. The next thing I'm going to do actually is I'm going to start building my dimensionals underneath a little bit. I'm going to take the backing off of that. So it's going to hit a little bit of the first flower, and then I'm going to pop this one on over top. I probably should add my blue centers right now before they get buried even more. So let's get those in there real quick. Oh my goodness, that's not where that goes. I put that in the little plastic dish that holds all my parts and pieces. It's a good thing it's empty. Okay, so here's these little circles. These are the smaller of the circles in the die set. So you can see already the difference between, hopefully you can see, just the regular punched pieces and the die cut circles look a little more natural. They're not like, they're not perfect circles. And they have a little bit of texture to them too, which is kind of cute. Okay, now we're going to move on to, we're going to put one of our yellow leaves over here. So I'm just going to put a dimensional there, and I think I want the other one. Let's see, I put the bigger one down here. Is this still going to work? Let's see, I think it will. So you're basically just having fun being floral arranger. So we're going to take that off of there, and then you don't have to worry about glue. You're just going to pop those on, just like that. And I'm going to put one right here. You can tuck them behind if you want to, or you can, well, that one really needs to be adjusted slightly. We're going to make an adjustment here, if we can, without destroying everything. Okay, we did it. We did it. That's good news. All right, I didn't pay attention to where the flower was going to be, so my dimensional was like still kind of sticking out. Now the last one that I put in at the top, you could add a dimensional too if you want to. I tucked it in so it's underneath and behind. So there's like a little bit more of layering going on. Guess what, you guys? I covered up my leaves pretty good again. I kind of wanted to have more leaves showing, but apparently it's not meant to be, not meant to be. Now this is going to come over here. Yeah, we barely can see those leaves at all. I get going on my layers, and I just go a little crazy. I guess there's a tiny peak of green. This is where you might want to die cut some more leaves and really get some more of them out there. We're going to go ahead and put I appreciate you across here with the dimensionals. Now for this one, we're going to kind of piggyback it here on top of our first piece that has dimensionals to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple teeny tiny, these are the small dimensionals. In case you don't have them, you can cut some of your bigger ones down, but it is nice to have both sizes, especially if you have like little tiny things that you want to pop up, and then you don't have to cut them down. It's just instant go. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue here on the top of this piece. And then the bottom section is going to kind of be layering onto those dimensionals just like that. So it's up here a little bit underneath the U. So you can see that very much. Oh, I love these colors together. Let me know in the comments if you are loving these colors too. Now this is kind of a springy card. I don't know, I must have been in a springy mood when I made this one. It's not bright and poppin', like it's not quite a summertime card. But I just love the colors. Now I'm taking some of the party dots. These are on the last chance list. There's still a lot of items out there that you can purchase that are on the last chance list. You may even get them on sale. So on my original card, I've got the pool party dots over here. And then I told my stampers at the in-person class on Saturday, feel free to use the pink ones if you prefer, because we're going to put a pink one up here. They work. Either one, oh, look how pretty that is. They work just like that. Isn't this card beautiful? Like, this is actually my favorite card of the class. I'm going to just say that right now. This one's my favorite already, and we just are getting started. All right, I'm going to check. Aw, thanks, Patty. It's great to see you on here. Patty says they're pretty cards. Aw, you're so sweet. Thank you. So yeah, I'm loving the pink on here too. It kind of gives it a little bit more of you can see them better. It's not tone on tone. So at the in-person class, we do a little inside stamping as well. I don't send inserts or anything for inside stamping in the card kits in the mail, but you can get some ideas when I do the in-person classes. I do usually share my ideas. So we had different colors that we could use for the centers of our flowers, and this is soft seafoam, but I also had the lemon lolly, and I had pretty in pink. So some of my stampers just mixed them all up, and they were all different colors, and it was really pretty. So there's card number 1. We are on the books with card number 1. We're going to move on to card number 2 next. So let's go to everyone's favorite color. And everyone's favorite color, of course, is purple. In case you didn't know, that was everyone's favorite color. Anytime I do anything in my class where I, have colors that everyone can pick out to use, purple flies off the shelf. And there's never enough. There's never enough purple. Now this one also has cloud cover in it, a little bit of garden green. Here's our designer series paper that you saw on the first card, actually. And then here's more of that beautiful designer series paper, loving the flowers. So you can see all these pretty colors. Now this one comes with an embossed piece and a die cut piece. So let me share with you that the embossed piece is from the Pressed Flowers embossing folder. So it's got kind of that kind of sprig-like floral coming up. What I like about this folder is there's a lot of white at the top. So depending on how you're using it, you can either grab most of the flowers. Now I'm leaving a little bit of white at the top for you because I didn't want to just do the whole impressed flowers, but I really like this folder. That's the folder. And then the dies are coming from Textured Notes dies. My favorite rectangle dies right now that are normally lost in my craft room. For some reason, I misplace these things constantly. So even before class, I was looking for them. I was like, oh my goodness, where did I put them? All right, this one has a lot of stamping. So I'm just gonna grab out my stamps real quick here because we're doing some extreme stamping on this one. Because sometimes I have a lot of cards that are a lot of die cuts and assembly and sponging, but this one we're doing some extreme stamping. All right, our colors for this card are Petunia Pop, Garden Green, and Daffodil Delight. So we're getting, some really springy, summery, pretty colors. And we're going to use the iridescent faceted gems on this one. So I'm going to set those aside. And I've got all my parts and pieces here. Here's the card. So we're going to talk about the card here. This is thanks. So we've got the thanks sentiment. And you can see how sweet this is. Really great layout. Now the good thing about this card is this piece right here, this whole focal piece I have on the right side, you could switch it over and put it on the left side if you preferred. It could go in the center. That's the beautiful thing about this. So you get options when you get this at home. You don't have to do exactly like mine, but you can do whatever makes you happy. We're going to start with cloud cover, and we're just going to add this right here to our card base. I'm just making sure I know which way it opens up, and about the middle. It doesn't have to be perfectly middle. You don't have to measure this one, just pop it in. It's going to go all the way across the width of your card base. And we're going to do the same thing with this beautiful designer series paper. Now I'm going to recommend you put the pretty flowers facing up because I think it looks so much nicer. So this is going to come across. Now it's also going to be the same width as your card base. You're only going to see that peak of color top and bottom. And it just adds a lot to the card. I want to say that as I put this card together, before I added the cloud cover, I just felt like there was something completely missing. Already it's beautiful. Like I don't have to try too hard with this one. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put this piece right onto our frame. Now if you want to, you could trim it down another 1/16 of an inch and get a bigger frame surround, because this will cover up a little bit of the frame, but you do still see some of the detail in it. So depending on how fussy you want to get about what you get to see, but it's got a beautiful little frame right here. And we're going to pop this up with those dimensionals. Let me grab the dimensionals right here. And we're coming back with the large ones again because this is a bigger piece and we get way more coverage. The best coverage you get on dimensionals is when you get down to the sides and you get to chop them apart. Then you can go really crazy. I usually do that too. Okay, there we go. Grabbing off the dimensional backings, and we're going to put this onto our card base. Now, let's see. I try to keep this over here so you guys can see what I'm doing. So as mentioned, we could probably switch it and go off to the side over here or toward the middle. Let's try it. Let's be bold tonight. We're going to kind of go in opposite directions. Okay, so with your leftover pieces here, you're going to do a little bit of stamping. So on the white, you're going to stamp the big flower and the little flower. So we're doing both of those. We're going to start with Petunia Pop. And we're going to do some, again, just like the first one, we're going to stamp off and then stamp on. So let's do the detail one first. We're going to do the detail in full blast. Now don't do two because you only need one. You're saving room for the little flower here too. All right, so now we're going to stamp off this detail bit. And we're basically going to kind of line it up, looking for parts of the flower that look like it could be something that you can find easily. Like for this one, that skinny little like kind of sticking up petal right here is probably like the easiest point where you can say, yep, I'm going to focus on finding that on both of these, and then I'm going to be able to stamp that, and it's going to be beautiful. We're going to do the same thing with the small one. So the small one's going to come on here too, and we're going to grab our background stamp, stamp off, and then we're basically doing the same thing, and I don't know, yeah, I guess that would work just like that. So there's our flowers for this card. Now for this one, we're going to go ahead and just stamp the centers, which will be easier. Oh, while we have Petunia pop out, let's say thanks to everybody. Thanks, everybody. We're going to pop this onto the little piece of white right here. There's our sentiment and Petunia. Very pretty. All right, where are we next? We are, and you know what? I forgot we got to get leaves on here. It's a good thing there's room on this paper. I'd be really embarrassed right now. Like, oh, I meant to tell you. All right, so this is the larger center, and we're going to put that in Daffodil. And I love how it stamps because it gives you some texture in it. And it's just really simple and pretty. And then we're going to do the little guy right here. These are photopolymers, so they are pretty easy to see through, so that you can get that done. Now let's talk about the leaves for this card, because we have Garden Green, and we are going to do the leaves. Same situation. We're going to do this twice. Now we're going to do stamp off the background leaf, right? And I'm doing this opposite this time. So we're just going to make sure we get everything on here. When you do this at home, just, make sure you have room. Or if you need more white paper, I'm sure you have lots of nice white cardstock in your craft room. I have a whole bucket bin of white cardstock. And look how pretty the detail is on that. And my favorite thing to do when my stampers come to my in-person class is I just hand them the bucket and I say, here you go, grab your scraps and have fun. Did you just mess that up? Oh no, well look, here's more. So I just let them go through my entire bucket here. And then I don't have to cut as much white cardstock, and they have a lot more fun, I think, too. So that's the fun. But when I send these to you in the mail, I can only send you so much, right? Postage is expensive and paper is heavy. All right, so when you're done with that stamping, you're going to line up the outlines. So you've got the big flower, you've got the little flower. This is just where you're going to kind of figure out the best way the petals go. And then fortunately for this set, you do get 2 of the outline leaves right here. So you can do both of those at the same, so you don't have to do one and then do another leaf. I do like it when they send us 2 leaves or 2 of anything that's smaller. It just makes it so much quicker and easier to die cut. So I already did all that die cutting, and I got all the parts and pieces right here. Here's my Petunia pop, flowers, and my 2 leaves. And the other thing we need to die cut, did I not die cut it? Is this right here. Oh, it fell out. All right, so you're going to die cut this stem. Now this one has 2, so you can see here at the top, it's got 2 little spots where you're going to pop flowers on. So you're going to die cut that in Garden Green. So you'll have that piece right there, and then you'll have everything you need to put this together. So let us do that next. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put this down now. You can see this is really tiny and skinny, so we're not even going to glue it. That's just not necessary. Don't even attempt, right? We're going to put it, I think I'm going to put it to this side this time though. So this is about where I want it, but notice no glue. This is a non-gluing type situation, because this is what we're going to do. We're going to cheat. We're going to take those 2 little tops of this stem, and I'm going to put dimensionals down on both of them. So now it's really attached to the card, right? So it's already in place. I didn't have to put glue on those tiny little stalks of greenness. And we're going to go ahead and put our flowers on just like this. I mean, how easy is that, right? Beautiful. I'm already loving it. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to find that little strip of designer series paper, and we're going to put some adhesive mostly in the middle because it might stick off one of the ends. And we're going to put this down. So right here where your stem kind of meets, it's probably a really good spot. Let it hang off a little bit on one end or the other. You don't have to put a dimensional underneath if you don't want to. And that's holding down this part of this skinny little leafy greeny thing that we did not have to glue it. How awesome is that, right? I love when I can cheat like that. All right, so now we're going to just do our thanks. We're just going to angle cut the 2 ends, and I'm going to pop this up here with some dimensionals. So let me grab out two of them I think would fit nicely. So 2 dimensionals for this one. And this card is going to be beautiful in any colors. And if you missed the beginning of my class, because there's so many gratitude type sentiments here, I feel like this would be really pretty with autumn color cards, and just perfect for the fall as we get into the fall. I know it's just, we barely tiptoed into summer, right? So no one wants to talk about fall yet. I totally get that, but it is coming sometime in the future. Not right away though. All right, so now I noticed that as I've mixed this up here, I'm going to have a little struggle here on where I want my leaves to go. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here because the rest of the leaf is going to kind of also come off the card. And I'm just going to tuck this in right over here, kind of underneath, and having it pop that way. Oh, that is cute. Okay, now I'm seeing my madness methods here at work, and I'm happier with it than I was at the beginning, because sometimes change is scary, and I know sometimes as you're doing your cards at home too, you're like trying to do, some of you guys are like, I want to do it exactly the same because you don't want to think outside the box. You like how it looks, and that's awesome. And I know that some people are definitely like, let me see how many ways I can make this look different. So this one is different, and to me, sometimes I'm scared to make things different too, because this was just kind of off the cuff here today. All right, so here we go. This is our thanks card. I almost think I like the new one better, and I don't know why, but they are really pretty. I think I like both of them. Let me check your comments. Oh, Linda says she never used it multi-flower DSP as you did. Love it. I love this this is really pretty. So what makes this work, this busy print, is that everything else is pretty simple, right? We have big blocks of color. We've got the background here, petunia to blot, kind of pop this up off of the fresh freesia card base. We've got a big bunch of white that's plain, so our eyes don't get tired looking at everything. And the flowers are pretty simple. I mean, everything else on here is simple, so the background paper can be busy. And I find that that's the best way to use the busier prints, is to keep everything else pretty simple. Otherwise, you have so much going on that you're probably going to get dizzy looking at the card, right? But there we go. There's card number 2. We're going to move into card number 3 now. And thank you for talking about that today, Linda. That's awesome. In case you guys didn't know, Linda's my mother-in-law, so I'm going to say, hi, Mom. Thank you. Now we're going to move into card number 3. This one was by far the class favorite. And we're going to grab out, in case you missed the beginning of the class, I'm going to grab out some of these little ovals that I die cut. And I have changed up a little bit of this too, because again, I'm not sending you punched pieces for this one, because you can use these cute little centers from this die set to get the centers of your cards. But I think the reason everyone loved this card so much is because I gave them a little piece of the sunflower. Well, first of all, sunflower designer series paper, really pretty, right? Also, new embossing folder alert. So in case you haven't seen, I mean, you may have seen it everywhere, like a lot of the demonstrators are using this already. This is the Sunflower 3D embossing folder. It's ginormous. It's one of those big ones, right? 6 inches wide by like 8.5 inches long. It's ginormous. I was surprised. I didn't know it was going to be this big. So you can do a lot of embossing at one time. Now, I'm just doing a section for your card here, but the detail in it is so deep and so fantastic. So this is our sunflower card, and this was very easily a super fave card from the class. Now for this card, I'm just going to show you real quickly here. The You Are Remarkable has similar flower in it. Again, this is two-step stamping. I did a whole class on the You Are Remarkable not too long ago, and I made this fun little project. In case you missed it, you can go back and find that video. I mean, this was just a really fun envelope project. But here's our flower right here. So you can see here that I did create this kind of sunflower-y-ish. That's a new word. I just made that up. Okay, so check out this if you have missed it. There's many ways to fold this. I'm folding it wrong now, but there we go. This is a really great class. I love this stamp set. So I did use the stamp set, and I'm going to show you how cool it is to take any of your stamp sets that you might have that has a leaf and a stem, and then add your own flowers on top. Now for this card, we're using Old Olive, Early Espresso, Darling Duckling, and Timid Tiger. I have to say Darling Duckling slowly because we did discuss Dirty Duckling at class, and we thought it looked kind of like a dirty duckling color, and to shorten it up, we would call it Dirty Duck. But now it's Darling Duckling. Like, for real, it's Darling Duckling. So I'm not trying to start rumors or anything, but you know, you heard it here first. Okay, so here's our Your Remarkable stamps. We're adding those in, and a sentiment as well, because there's different sentiments, and I wanted to, at my in-person class, wanted to do some new things. So we've got some different sentiments on here. This worked out perfectly, but check out what you have at home too to see what's going to work for you. All right, I'm just grabbing out parts and pieces here because there's a bit going on with this one. Let me see. Here we go. Friends are flowers in the garden of life. This sentiment works perfectly with your flower cards, right? And it also fit really nicely on the oval as well. Now you can see here that we have taken some die cuts from this bundle, and we've popped them right over top of where the flower would be on our stamp. How awesome is that? So any floral stamp that you have that you can pop these dies on top of, now you've like multiplied ways that you can use products you already own. And that is like something that super excites me all the time. All right, this is a crushed curry card base. Again, you're getting the two pieces that are the exact same size. You're going to die cut both of them with the detail that's going to cut out the frame. So we took the frame from the white card and we used it earlier in class on the pool party card. Okay, so that left us the white inner section, and then you're going to die cut the crushed curry paper, and you're going to have this as a piece to use for something else. You don't need it for this card kit because we're going to put these two pieces together. Now, if you have this at home, if you've got this bundle, you can mix and match like for all of your cards. Get a different color frame and a different color insert oval, and you're going to be able to, you know, like switch them back and forth and have lots of fun. It's amazing. It's a really great feature. All right, let's talk about the bones of our card kit first, because this is what you're getting. You're getting some really pretty Designer Series paper. We're going to put this down here at the top of our card first. So we're just going to, we're going to assess what we like to see at the top. So decide which pattern is prettiest, and we're going to leave that nice little kind of matted look here, where we've got the 1/4 inch surround, top and sides. And then before we put this on, oh my gosh, before we put this on, we're going to deepen this. So this one over here is the cardstock as it comes to you, and this is what happens when you add ink to it. Let me get out the ink because this is like my favorite thing ever. We're going to do early espresso, so it's going to be tone on tone, and the reality is it's like so dark. It's just absolutely luscious. So go ahead and grab your blending brush. This is the best way to do it. I actually did the whole thing just kind of lightly because you don't want to just, you know, everything. You're really trying to catch the raised edges, and believe me, these edges are super raised. I'm going to do half of this and then show you kind of like what this looks like as you're looking at it. It's just so gorgeous. So hopefully you can see here, this side has the sponging on it, so it's so much darker and deeper than this side over here. So just adding that ink, and again, tone on tone. Nothing fancy here, just ink and a blending brush. And if you don't have blending brushes, highly recommend. Oh, I love mine. And they work beautifully. You get 3 in a pack of the large. And then there's smaller ones too. I'm going to show you smaller ones here in a second because I do use both. I use the bigger ones more, but the smaller ones are also really nice. So there it is. It's just absolutely stunning. This embossing folder, okay, I'm going to say right now, is not available to customers yet. It will be available in July. It's a new July online exclusive that is coming. Demonstrators get to order it early. And I'm going to say that it is probably going to sell out quickly. And it's going to be on back order. So please add this to your cart on day 1 if you love it. Because it will go, I'm not kidding, it'll go on back order. It's so popular already. And it's just demonstrators sharing with it because it's gorgeous. So make sure you get yours while you can. Now, if you're a demonstrator, good news. If you haven't gotten it yet, I'm going to recommend you get it. Because again, when this goes live in July, it's going to be just gangbuster busy. Okay, so here's the bones of your card. Look how gorgeous that is. And now we're going to do a little bit of work here on our oval. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in Darling Duckling, in case you thought it was something else. It's called Darling Duckling, new in color. And we're going to bring in the small blending brush. So I'm sharing with you what both of them look like. Now I label and have one of everything for one of every color for my bigger blending brushes. And that way just I don't have to think about how I'm going to use it. I already know this is early espresso. With the smaller ones, I don't label them. I use them infrequently, and I'll clean them if needed. And so I'm not really as crazy with the smaller ones. I don't have one for every color. Who knows? That could change in my future. You never know, right? All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add some of this beautiful tone right here, kind of in the middle. We don't need to go crazy. We're going to just keep it right here in the center. And that's about it. We're going to come back in with the Darling Duckling in a little bit and catch our flowers. But I wanted to do the stamping first. We're going to bring Early Espresso back in, get our stamping in. Now my recommendation is your sentiment first, because you want to make sure you have room for the words. So this is a beautiful sentiment. Again, I love this set. We're going to put the sentiment a bit over here toward the right, and our flower is going to be on the left. So there we go. Now, if you did the Early Espresso stamping first and then sponge afterwards, you want to make sure that your ink is dry, because the brown ink is really strong, and if you add some Darling Duckling over top, you might end up with really a dirty duck, because I think everything would be messy. All right, we're going to go ahead and pop the flower here off to the side here. And already it's just really pretty, isn't it? I just love this one so much. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of two-step stamping. So we're going to bring in the leaves from the same stamp set, the You Are Remarkable, and we're going to do the leaves in Old Olive. I love these colors together. I think Old Olive is a really great mix with these colors too. So this is two-step stamping. You've got a photopolymer set here, and we're just going to kind of line that up and do our green leaves just like that. Beautiful. Okay, now we're not going to worry about the flower because we have dies that are going to go over top. And here's where the rest of this paper is going to come in handy for your kit. So what you're going to do is you're going to die cut this flower. So I'm sharing like all the flowers for the class today. So you're going to die cut these at the same time. So you're going to put this little insert in. Obviously I have them facing up just so you can see the detail. You're going to do this twice, and then you're going to do the centers here twice on the espresso, and then the bigger one you're going to do twice with the Timid Tiger. Now this is a little bit different from my original. So in my original, other options, I had everybody sponge a little bit of Timid Tiger in the center, and again we use those little punches instead of the dies to make the card class go a little bit quicker. So those are some options as well. I do have everything ready to go here. Here we go. So let's pretend all this is done, because it really is. We move those over. Here's our spare papers, and here's all our parts. Set those aside here too. All right, so here are your two little, and they look kind of like daisies. They could be sunflowers. All those, and then you can see here the detail. All those little slits and cuts come from the second piece right here, and you can die cut them at the same time. So the beautiful thing is you just figure out how you're going to line this up. Look for your three petal flower, and you can find the three little kind of webbed feet on that one. So they do kind of line up really nicely. And then you've got your other centers right here. So to make these yellow, because they're clearly not yellow, right? They're pretty white. We're going to bring in our Darling Duckling. And I'm just going to, I don't know if I need more. I guess I do need a little bit more. We're going to do a little bit more on this. I do want them to be a little bit darker, but I don't want to go all the way to the edges. I'm not trying to make them fully yellow. I want to leave a little bit of white. But you guys, you know, at home, however you want to do it, you can do that however you like. All right, so there's that. Now I'm going to take the Timid Tiger, and if you had pumpkin pie, you could do that too. Do I have a sponge for that? Let me think. I think I do. I just have to find it. It's always like a brief pause here while I look for something. Yes, here it is right here. So I'm just going to deepen this down a little bit on the edges. This is going to be where you're going to get really inky fingers, by the way, in case you wondered. But look at the difference between inked and non-inked. Like, it's worth it, right? Here's our little flowers. Let me pop them over here so you can see. Okay, here's the one that's inked, and here's the one that's not. Like, this one really just shines in your face, and it makes you feel happy. It's just, it's got life to it, right? Like, the ink just brings these papers to to life. I feel like they're flat and kind of boring when you don't add ink. Like I am always going to say, please add ink. Now that's the bigger one, and here's the smaller one. So we're actually just going to glue those together and then pop them on. Now this is just, I'm just checking it out. Maybe I don't like the smaller ones. Not really sure if I like the smaller ones. I hadn't made them like this yet. This is like live, impromptu, decorating and card making and figuring things out as we go. But you know what? Maybe I don't want the brown on top. They look cute with the smaller punched pieces, but I don't know if I like the brown. I think I might just leave them like this. I think I have to. I think the brown is just a little bit too much. I'm not feeling the brown. I don't know if you're feeling the brown too or not, but I'm not really feeling the brown. So I think I'm going to leave it off. But before we do that, let me know in the comments, brown or not brown, because I got to put this together, and you guys got time to yell your comments and tell me brown or not brown, okay? Because I need to know what you think. All right, we're going to go ahead and put this tiny, tiny frame onto, this is the back side facing up, and I'm going to just use a whole bunch of little dimensionals here on the sides, and we're going to pop this together. So I'm just going to go around and do this. While I'm doing this, you have time to vote for your brown or not brown centers. I don't know. I'm thinking the brown is too much. Like, I just feel like it's too much. Tell me in the comments what you think, because I gotta know what you're thinking. All right, so let me, just a couple more of these on here. I know it seems like a tedious amount, but it's really going to help to hold the frame together when we get this all said and done. All right, I think I'm just going to do one more here and then we're good. All right, now I'm going to switch over to the bigger dimensionals because we can fill in our spaces here with the bigger ones. All right, so this is going to come onto our card base. And I'm looking at comments and they might be frozen. And Barbara, hi, I'm looking at comments right now. So the sunflower embossing folder is something you'll be able to order in July. And the number for that is, grab that right back out again. Yeah, so that you can write it down and order it in July. 166145. 166145. And it's called Sunflower 3D Embossing Folder. The July online exclusives, I'll have to look to see the exact date that they go live. It's typically the first Tuesday of the month. And there's going to be tons of Christmas. Well, I shouldn't say tons. There's some Christmas items. There's some Halloween and fall items, which is really exciting. Kind of giving us a jump start before we even hit the September mini, which will have even more fall and Christmas. Oh my gosh, those are my favorite time of year for products. I love them so much. Okay, so the sunflower will be very popular. I'll be talking about it when you can order it. So I know if you get it in your cart early, you have better chances of getting it. Okay, so this is going to go right in the middle, right like so. All the dimensionals and all the backings everywhere, heavily into the backings here. Okay, there we go. The good news is you get a sample of the sunflower. You're welcome, Barbara. You get a Tammy says, try stamping the centers with the brown. Ooh, it just says no brown. Okay, Tammy says, try stamping the centers. Let me find the center with the brown. Let me see. Tammy says we're gonna, I love this. I love that you're ready to like, this is like, try this at home, kids. Let's see what happens. Let me clean off my yellow there. Let's just see. I don't know what's going to happen here. I didn't stamp it really well. I mean, it's not the worst. It's better than the die cut. I will give you that, Tammy. It looks better than the die cut. So now that I have one done, we're going to try the other one. Yeah, it's not too bad. It looks a little bit better with the stamping in it. So we're going to go with that now. But you can see how much fun it really is to like kind of experiment at home, like do what you want to do. Now, this is where we get to pop these onto the stamped flower. And we're going to do that again with some dimensionals, one right in the middle of each of these. And Tammy is, I want to shout out to Tammy. She comes to my in-person classes and she does really amazing things and changes. I actually took some pictures of her projects while she was at class because I was like, ooh, I love it so much. So I'm going to be sharing things that Tammy did with these kits. I'm trying to get my flowers covered up and my stamped flowers covered up, and I probably didn't do a very good job at that either. But look how cute it is to put your die cuts over top. So here's the difference. These ones are a little bit more yellow, and they've got the sponging and then the brown center. So just a different take on the flowers for sure. These ones look like a little bit more like daisies because they are a little bit lighter, which is, there's nothing wrong with any of that. It's all very pretty. Now for this one's, for the embellishment, I used, again, this is a last chance item. This one is called Neutrals Adhesive Back Sequins. And so it comes in the 4 different colors. And then we can pick, I think I'm going to go with the copper this time. I think I used gold over here. The espresso, I mean, these colors are great for your neutral tone cards. And because they're the sequins, they're not super big and bumpy. So they're more friendly to put into the mail. They don't poke through the envelopes. So this is a really nice choice. I'm going to go with the coppery color here because I've got more orange in here too. So that turned out pretty nicely, I think. And that's how we put that one together. Again, the sunflower embossing folder is like the highlight of this, I believe. It's totally the highlight of it. But any die cuts that you have, even if you're not using this this set here, the Impressions Abloom, if you have other die cuts, think about using them on top of other stamps that you have. I mean, it's just fun to mix and match. All right, now we're going to get into the last project of the day, which happens to be our sampler. And I know you guys have been hanging out like waiting for the sampler. It's so awesome. Michelle says the first card is your favorite. Michelle, the first card was mine too because blue, right? It's so, so pretty. Now I might have to like wipe my hands off a little bit. I feel like I have ink on them, and there's a lot of white going on in the sampler, so let me see if I can't find something to clean my hands off for just a second while I talk about the sampler kit. Now I showed it earlier a little bit, so this is what you're getting. So this week's card class is different because we also have a project in it. So this one contains 3 card kits, the 3 that you just saw, and I'll share with them. I'll share a picture of them all at the end as well, so you can kind of check them out. They are in my email newsletter. You'll get to see all of the pictures individually and save that if you like, just even for inspiration. Okay, so hopefully my hands are a little bit cleaner. So this is what's coming in your kit, but there's more than this actually. I slid those into this envelope. You're also getting these 2 pieces of cardstock, and then you would have to supply an 8x8 if you're doing an 8x8 frame like I did. So I'm just going to share with you the DSP, again, from that beautiful Floral Impressions Designer Series paper. It is so gorgeous. Now we're using the green, but the good thing here is you can use it with the stripes going down or sideways. So I think on my original I did, let's see what I did on my original. Oh, I did sideways on my original. So I don't know. I got to see what you guys can see. So hold on, hold please. Let me see. Okay, yep, you can see. You can see the whole thing here. Look, how beautiful is this? All right, so you can change this Designer Series paper either way. And if you want to be like Kathy just went all flowers. She's like, I want all the flowers to show. She used this side as well because she saw how beautiful it is. And she was just like so excited about it. So either way, however you want to do it. And this is an 8x8 frame. So you can see here, you'll need another piece of paper, or you can use the insert from your frame as well. I got these frames on Amazon in case you're wondering where they come from. They're really awesome frames because you can just pop these out really easily in the back. Everything, like the matte, it's kind of like an acrylic glass, fake glass. Everything's behind the frame. I keep it all intact. It just helps to kind of support that. So this is going to go together like so. So you're going to have cardstock that you have to die cut with the Impressions Abloom dies. So we just talked about the dies. We'll talk a little bit about what you're doing in there. And then you're going to get the black cardstock. You're getting the Designer Series paper. And I'm just going to do kind of a quick layout here so you can kind of see how this went. We've got blue, yellow, purple, and pink. And this can be changed up as well. You could change this up. You could put the pink up here, the purple over here, right? So you can change it up if you want to. So here I've changed up these 2 colors already. And then I have a little bit of this yellow Designer Series paper, and on mine I put them kind of here and here as I was putting my sampler together, just to give it a little bright color. So you can definitely, you know, this is just kind of a quick layout so you get an idea of what we're creating here, and then this is what it looks like in the end. We're going to talk a little bit about the die cuts, but we're also going to talk about the paper real quick, because this is the paper that we're starting out with. So if you have this paper at home, I cut this paper so that I got all of the pink and red first, and then I flipped it and cut it. So I got all the purple and then all the blue. And then I skipped a little bit of green and I did all the yellow. So I really have a strip that I haven't used that has the light pink and the orange, but you could change it up and you could use different strips of this paper. It is gorgeous no matter what you use, but I wanted to use the darker pink, the yellow, the blue, and the purple. So that's what I've got here for you, and it's all cut nicely. If you were at my in-person class, you will be getting the directions, the cutting directions and all that good stuff. And if you order with me this week, you're also getting them as well as the kit. All right, so let's talk about the flowers that you're going to make here with the cardstock. And these are so simple, absolutely simple to make. So you're going to do 2 of these flowers. Right here, you can see them. You're going to do 1 of this big purple flower right here. And you're going to do this, you're going to die cut this with this piece in it. So you're going to die cut these 2 pieces at the same time. That gives you that texture in here. So you want to make sure you're adding both dies at the same time. On the blue, which is, okay, Misty Moonlight, Strawberry Slush, Petunia Pop, Crushed Curry. In case you're taking notes, write that down really quick. And then you're going to do 2 of the yellow, so 2 yellows. Hopefully you can see those. And what am I missing? Okay, 2. And that's it. And then you've got the centers. So I'm actually going to send you a strip of black and you can do the centers. You're going to need 2 of the big ones. You're going to need 4 of the small ones. Use these cute little details inside your centers, but be really careful to not lose your dies like I did because they're so tiny. So that's not even like fun, but I did the centers in black. You can feel free to change them up if you want to do them in different colors. You could do that. I just felt like it really helped the black to pop here. So that is the idea of the sampler. Now let's talk about another idea as well. And also, I'd love to know what you think of the sampler. Like, do you love it? Because I'm not looking at your comments right now, but I'm hoping you think this is like the bee's knees, because it really is. It's really pretty. But let's say that maybe you wanted to do something completely different and you didn't want to make a sample. I don't know why you don't want a sampler. It's gorgeous. But maybe you're like, no, I'm good. I don't really need a sampler. All right, let's talk about all the things you can do besides make a sampler, right? So I've got the Right Words stamp set. If you're going to make cards with these, you're going to need a good sentiment stamp set. And I chose this one, the Right Words. And we're going to move this aside, even though it's beautiful. I know you love looking at it. And we're going to talk a little bit about the squares from our sampler. You're cheating because you're kind of seeing what I'm doing here, but that's okay. So I've got these parts are put together already. And I'm just taking white card bases. And I've got embossed pieces. So a white card base, a 4x4 white, and then I've embossed each one. And I was thinking about maybe adding some dimensionals to them because I think that's going to make a nicer look to our cards. Now these are not pre-made. I have not, like, other than in my mind, I have not put this together yet. So during this live class, we're really going like a little bit crazy with ideas, right? So hopefully this works. And it'd probably have been quicker if I glued that down, but you know what? I really want them to be pretty. And I don't have samples because this is it right here. This is my blue one. And on my blue one, I think I'm going to put this up to the top. I probably should have stamped my sentiment first, because I'm going to put this on here. This is the squares from our sampler, right? So I'm just going to add this onto the card base. It's going to be really pretty white on white and all of that good stuff. And I'm going to do this one. Now you could do your sentiment in a dark color, or you could do it in a coordinating color with your flowers. I'm just going to bring in Secret C to make this easy, and I hope that this works. And if it doesn't, I have a backup plan. Let's see how this is going to work. All right, let's try this. So I'm going to put this over here. And I'm going to stamp it right there, and let's hope it's pretty straight and all that good stuff. Oh, it worked out nicely. This one says, hoping the loss you feel right now will be eased by wonderful memories. I'm going to put this on here. First, I'm going to close this because I really feel like it could get really messy really quick. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here, and I'm maybe going to do it flat. Like I said, I'm just making this up as I go, so I don't know, maybe I'm like, maybe this is going to have the blue flower, I'm going to put that right here, I think. So there we go. Look at how lovely that is already, right? And I have flowers. I die cut all the flowers ahead so you guys could see when I shared with you like what we would be doing with these flowers when you die cut them. Here they all are. So all I have to do is add a little bit of ink to the edges and then pop them together. Now this is the 3 that come, one die has 2 of these flowers, and they come out separate when you die cut them, and then one has the bigger one, and then this is the flower right here. I made a flower with this. I kind of worked it so that it has kind of a circle-y effect right here. So you can see it right here. It's an irregular flower for sure, and I put the black center on there. So this is what it looks like if you were to go ahead and sponge it. But you know what? I think I'm going to skip that part, and we're just going to go right to the glue. So I die cut an extra large circle from the circle dies. It's not extra large, it's an extra large circle. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Sometimes I crack myself up, and I'm really not that funny. All right, so then I'm just going to build. So I put the glue on the circle, and I built my little flower on there so it would all go together. So this is the back side, right? The front side. And then I'm going to take one of these. This is the die cut with the little details in it. My camera is really not friendly to sharing with you like all the good stuff, so I will share pictures though. All right, so here's our little flower. This is going to come on over here. Now I didn't this is not normal of me that I haven't sponged the edges, so I feel like it's naked, but it is still really pretty. And I'm just going to put this on here. I'm going to leave it be. It can be simple. Sometimes things can be simple. So here we go. Here's the first card, and it's just using the square from the sampler and then the die cut piece, and it's gorgeous. I think it turned out really nice. All right, let's see if we can strike lightning a couple more times here, because we have 4 of these sampler pieces all together. So let's come into the next card. Again, die cut, embossed. This one is okay, let's talk about embossing folders real quick. This is the Beautiful Butterflies Hybrid Embossing Folder. This one comes with the die that fits in it, but this is the butterfly die. The first one I used was the Impressions Abloom, which we use in our card class tonight. Okay, so let's go ahead and very quickly, we're going to throw some dimensionals on here, make it pretty. I'll try to use less so it's quicker. I'll try. I can't make a promise. Nope, probably not. Probably not. Okay. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and do this. Now, I think the white on white is just a really clean, simple, beautiful look. You could obviously change this up if you wanted to do purple, because I'm going to be using the purple on this one. I feel like purple is the best choice for this one. So we're going to pop that on there. I've grabbed another sentiment out. This one is, again, kind of more of a sympathy sentiment. Forever loved, forever remembered. I'm bringing back Secrecy. You could change in a purple ink if you so desired. We're going to do the same thing. Hope that this stamps nicely, because I've already got everything kind of started on this card. Let's see what happens. We're just rolling the dice here. Kind of the same thing here. There it is. It worked. Okay, good. Okay. Thanks for helping me make my cards tonight. All right. This one is beautiful just like it is. And we're going to put this on here. And again, we're going to glue this down. I think we're going to kind of keep the same pattern going here. So just add this framed piece here onto your card. Again, maybe I want to put it over here because my sentiment's on that side. You can see the little bit of the butterflies though, and it's really cute. We're going to pop this up with a dimensional on my framed piece. I went crazy with ink. I love to sponge. Normally I'm sponging everything. This one, I'm just keeping it really simple. You can definitely, sponge as you want to. My favorite thing to do with sponging for these cards and projects is actually multiple colors. So I would start with a kind of a tone on tone, and then I'd add a darker color as well. So there it is. Forever loved, forever remembered. Really beautiful card, simple, easy peasy. Now we're moving on to the next one. So this one is, oh, I love this embossing folder. This is that one that's on back order. Unfortunately, this one's on back order. Joined together, it's in the Kintsugi suite. Love this one. So we're going to pop this one on another, so again, white card base, 4x4 white cardstock that's embossed. So the reason I'm using 4x4 is that it covers a good part of the card, but it also leaves room for your sentiment to be stamped directly onto the card base. Now, if you were doing the card base as a colored card base, a light color you could still stamp on, or you could do some heat embossing if you so desired. I'm actually going to put this on the bottom this time. Oh, I know I'm going rogue. Look at that. It's on the bottom. This is like one of the hardest things I ever do in card making is to put something on the bottom and the sentiment at the top. All right, so this one, let's do, which one did I want to do with this one? I think I want to do happy birthday. This one's going to be happy birthday. So we're going to bring in our secret C. Happy birthday. And I just put my scrap paper. My scrap paper is getting really ugly tonight. It's getting a workout. Okay, so here we go. Happy birthday. Let's hope this works. And it did. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm 3 for 3. I'm really excited. This is cool. All right, so we're going to do our flower. I love this one. The pink one might be my favorite. Okay, we're going to glue this down. And we're going to just, you know, pick a side, right? It could go either way. I feel like every time I stamp it, then I need to put the designer series paper kind of in the opposite corner, because otherwise everything would feel heavy and on one side. Now this time we have 2 flowers. We did 2 pink flowers. So it really is happy birthday. And again, the card base here could be, you know, this beautiful strawberry slush color. We're going to just pop these on here kind of just like this. Oh, look how cute that is. Happy day indeed. I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive here. I did the smaller centers for this one, and I did that little fancy, it almost looks like a button, which is really cute. I love how this is turning out, by the way. I wasn't really sure. I'm just making this up as I go. So there we go. Happy birthday. Loving it. I'm not looking at your comments yet, so I got to read your comments when we get all done here. I'm curious to know if you guys are loving this kind of impromptu session. Like it's like an extra class. Now we didn't talk about this at all really at the in-person class. I was just telling some of my stampers that, you know, if they didn't want to keep the sampler, because some of them didn't assemble it at the class, they were going to take it home, and I said, you know, you can use these parts and pieces and you can make cards with them. So they were like, what would you do? And I'm like, let me work on that. So here we go, another 4x4. This is the embossing folder called Damask Designs. So it kind of has an orientation. Again, the white on white. Now this time in your sampler, you have these 2 little pieces of yellow designer series paper, and they are like here and here, just to kind of break up the green, give us a little bit more yellow in it. So I'm going to pop these onto my card for the yellow, because I'm going to use, obviously the yellow one is the last one I have here. So that way we're just getting extra yellow in, because this is part of your kit. You know, if you're making this at home, it's, you know, do however you want, but I didn't measure these to see if they would even fit. They overlap a little in the middle. I'm just going to focus on keeping the edges kind of straight and flush, and then we're going to put this one on here. Look how cute that's going to be. We have our flowers. We probably need a sentiment. Thinking of you. Oh, look, I have to open my ink pad. Thinking of you. I think I have a scrap paper again here somewhere. Here we go. Thinking of you. Oh, it's beautiful. Loving it. Okay, we're gonna go center, right at the top. Thinking of you. Ooh, it turned out so nicely. I love it. Okay, so there we go. We're gonna add the. All right, let's close this. Ink emergency doesn't need to occur. Okay, and we are almost done with these cards. How beautiful. Now, I'd love to know at home if you had this kit at home, would you make cards? Or would you make a sampler? Because that is the question, right? Like, which one do you like better? I'm going to share all of them here in just a hot second. And I got to decide where I would want to put these cute little flowers. Probably, yeah, probably right about there. And we're going to do this with a dimensional. Oh, I'm almost out of the regular dimensionals. This was a heavy class of dimensionals. Okay, here we go. We're going to just pop them over here, like one here and then one here, because we want the designer series paper to really be the star. I feel like I want that one over a little bit more, and it's not going to happen. All right, that's good. We're happy. Okay, good. There we have it. We're putting on the last little centers here. Again, these are the smaller centers for this flower, and this is the tiniest, the smallest of the flowers there as we get going. So there we go. I think I like this one the best. Look at that. Thinking of you. Now, I didn't add any embellishments, right? I didn't add any ribbon. They're really just simple note cards. How beautiful would this be? A set of 4 cards that you could bundle up and gift away to, you know, anyone that would love to receive some cards, right? So these are the 4 cards right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know how to best share them so you can see all of them. I think that would be right there. Look at how cute they are. These turned out way better than I thought. Now again, this is a really great stamp set, by the way, the right words. Lots of good things in it. I've used this in a class previous because I really like this set too. So there are the cards that you can make with your sampler kit, or if you prefer, you can make the sampler. So these are your options, but I mean, so you can see here now you have some beautiful ideas here. I'm gonna go ahead and grab out all the cards from the class. I just need to like make a little room here. So options here, card kits or sampler, and then the other cards from our class include our sunflower card, really popular and very pretty. We've got the pool party, I appreciate you card, and then we have our very beautiful Fresh Freesia card here as well. So you're getting from this class this week, if you order with me, you're getting a Fresh Freesia card, a Crushed Curry card, a pool party card, and the parts and pieces to either make the sampler or add to your own card bases. I'm not sending the white card bases and embossed pieces for here, so hopefully that makes sense. I'm just showing you some alternate ideas. So basically, this is just ideas, but what you're getting is the product to make the actual sampler itself. So there we go. Oh my gosh, we made it through the class. I got to check out your comments. I'm really excited to check out your comments because I haven't seen comments yet. I got to find you on my computer. I hope you guys are still hanging out with me. Okay. Jamie says cards are cute and easy. 4 cards using stock from the samplers from Jess. Thanks, Kathy. Likes the cards are perfect. Jess, I love the pool party card too. Card number 1, I think, is the best card. Let's see. Flo says she would make both, that she has a DSP. I know that DSP is so pretty, isn't it, Flo? I love it too. Highly recommend that as well. I'm just checking out some of your definitely cards. Aw, thanks, Pat. You're so sweet. Impromptu for sure. I like to share the samplers on occasion because I feel like sometimes maybe you get bored making cards. I don't know, maybe not. I don't get bored, but I feel like sometimes my stampers are like, what else can we do? So I love to do sampler because it is fun to have pretty art around you in a frame as well. But I also like to have the idea that you can do more than just art or more than just cards. So I love to share and inspire, and I'm glad you guys are enjoying it too. Thank you for all your sweet comments. I will, I'll read them all through later tonight. I feel like it's late because we did like an extended version of this class. So if you guys have any questions and they're in the comments, I will answer them later on. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. This was a really fun class. Again, this is the Impressions Abloom Card Class. Lots of good stuff in it. I hope you love it. If you have any questions this week with your ordering or need help, let me know. The sweet buy one, get one, the BOGO is still on, so make sure that you're taking advantage of the best way that you can save if you're choosing any sweet products to get in your shopping cart. All right, everybody, that's it for me. I will be sharing pictures of these all week on Facebook. They will be in my email newsletter as well. And so just look forward to all of that good stuff. And I will be back next Monday with another card class. Till next time, stay inspired, create something beautiful, and share the love. Bye, friends.